shorts with a style, and then you also had your conscious rap at that particular time. So basically they upped the ante on the fluoride, which is what we're going to deal with. The fluoride, which is the #1 devastating thing to the pineal gland, as well as low radio frequency waves, as well as if you notice your TV set, the only way to really stop it, you got to put a heavy blanket over it. So let's say if you cut your TV set off at night, that's not enough, because it means if it's still plugged into the wall, it's on standby. So you get a breaker and you cut off the breaker, you know, where you put all those plugs in and you mash the breaker. It don't matter if you cut the TV, you can unplug it from the wall, cut it off out of breaker. There's still enough because it has a battery on the inside that's still on. Just like your cell phone. Your cell phone is unplugged from the wall as you travel around, but it's the battery on the inside that keeps the cell phone going. So these TVs have a battery on the inside to keep going even when you unplug them from the wall. So that's why you need to get you some type of black velvet and drape, black or dark blue velvet, and drape over the actual TV. Not only does it emits all types of low radio frequency waves, but it also has a camera on the inside, so everybody is monitored. You see what I'm saying? But we can talk all day on those particular things, but we're also into the application. And here's a document that I'm going to be giving today. It's a 2-page document. I'm selling for $5. I go and I do the research, go in and dig detail and get to certain things. So there's certain things that came out of Moorish Spain, since we're talking about the Moors also, that they were holding on to for years, the Europeans. And this is coming from the Wiccan cult, which you must familiarize yourself with. And I'll tell you why. The whole witchcraft thing, because that's nothing but the priestess of Isis, or Aset. You see what I'm saying? And so white folks are at least maybe 100 years ahead of us in our own sciences. All because you all spooked out and everything that is yours somehow became evil. You know what I'm saying? Somehow became evil. This is a third eye ritual. It's a ritual on how to evoke psychic power and clairvoyance and the whole 9 yards. But this is one that works. So what it is I'll go in and I'll do the research and retrieve certain things. Well, I had to find this in the Wiccan, the Wiccan information, which the Wiccan information had 2 aspects of receiving that particular information. The first resurgence, the first rise of the Wiccans was the ancient Egyptians who traveled up in that land and built Stonehenge, or the Hemmites, and set up the Celtic Druids. Now this was curious to me because I found a book called The Book of Isis and Osiris by the Celtic Druids back in the 1990s. And I'm, you see, what is this? And then it was interesting. So that's the first aspect as far as this Wiccan thing. The second aspect is that they benefited from the secret societies who actually preserved all of those particular magical texts on the Moors that was there for 700 years. You see what I'm saying? So they are into preserving all of the ancient primordial texts. So this is one that filtered down, probably came out of Hemmitt, went into Europe by the Moors, and this is a third eye ritual. That's 2 pages, because the second page is how to raise the Kundalini, 10 ways how to raise the Kundalini energy. We'll be dealing with all that today, but I wanted to put that out there also. Let me see if I got this picture. We had a great master to pass in March. Some of you know him as Brother C. Freemanel. Anybody heard of Brother C. Freemanel?
All right.
Great master to pass. See if I got his picture. To pass, this is one that Brother Azazel, this is a picture of it, and it's just it's the best we had at the time. But Brother C. Freemanel made the transition. So we paying homage to him, and so what we do is we invoke. But this is ironic. I'm kind of glad to do this. I was glad to make this opportunity because I saw the brothers, the Crips and the Bloods and the gangs out in L.A. on the videos when they would pour one for the brothers ain't here. They would take a 40 ounce and pour for the brothers ain't here. So, you know, I never had the opportunity. I was a little jealous. I said, man, I wish I could do that. But I never really had the opportunity in a particular setting and stuff, you see what I'm saying, until now, because this brother used to drink Old English. You know? Used to drink Old English. And don't laugh, because this is ironic. This is Old English, that's the tiger. Same tiger that jumped through the fence on Christmas Day, remember in the San Francisco Zoo?
Yeah.
Well, that's called the jumping. This tiger wasn't let out. This tiger actually walked through a wall and ended up on the other side. Real significant because these dimensions are bumping into each other, you see. So if you have all the elemental forces, which you got with nature and different things happening, the animals are correspond with those elemental forces, so that thing happened. When we had a memorial for him down in Atlanta, I said, man, I forgot to get the old English 40 ounce. And I was telling him, and so the brother, what's the brother name from, they talked about the 800, Brother Tap, that lives upstate New York, would say, well, that was interesting, he would drink that, because it said that the Moors invaded Europe in the late 1700s, but actually took power in the 800s. So the Old English represents the Moor. And when I was turning around to go back to my seat after I did my testimonial, he said, hey man, that was not one of the reasons I drank it. He said, I drank it because I wore burgundy fez and the sign was burgundy, it's just like the fez. So what does this mean? This means that these people do research, and not only do they do research, they understand certain things that we wearing this fez. This is this whole Moorish thing that's going down. And don't think that they're not up on it. Because I got documents from the prison. I had a homeboy that got a job in the prison as a prison guard, and he brought back papers they had to learn, and they had every symbol and mythology and everything for every person that was in the prison, from the Nation of Islam, the Moorish Science, the Hebrew Israelites, you see, even Christian sects. You see, so they had it all, they have to know everything. So don't think that when this thing is designed, it wasn't designed to put that fez on there. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm wearing a t-shirt, so we want to, this is so when I went to the store yesterday, I went to go get some old English, they didn't have none. So I got a Red Bull. This is called a Red Bull, Schlitz Red Bull. So I went for a libation. Usually we pour it on the floor. We'll mop it up later here. You pour it on the floor. I don't want to pour it on the rug. We can always mop that up. And that's for Brother PINEAL. I'll take a little sip too. We get into the groove of things. But this is the Red Bull. But anyway, that's how we do things. So somebody said, what does a master do in drinking malt liquor? You're going to find out about the masters. The masters never come in the people that you see all flowing in the vestibule of divineness. The master you're going to always take for granted. You're going to always look at the master and treat him with a heavy hand. Just like Yoda. You know, Yoda in Yoda in Star Wars. You know, he used to live in a shithole and drink and eat stew. And little, you know, in a little raggedy place. And Luke Skywalker, who was supposed to be his initiate, took him for granted and treated him with a heavy hand at first. So the master is never going to come in the people, especially in this day and age. You see what I'm saying? Especially in this day and age. The master is always going to be someone that you take for granted. And somewhat that is the disguise where we are right now, because believe it or not, the people who run this planet, they never think, they don't even, can't even realize, or they would never even realize in a million years that we are sitting up here learning this advanced knowledge. You see what I'm saying? They think that, you know, we are out here complaining. And what they think that what we still acknowledge is the same stuff that we was dealing with back in the day, talking junk about the white man. You see what I'm saying? He would never think that we are on the verge of our own magic, which is our own technology. You see what I'm saying? Now I want to show you, I usually don't wear nothing but dress shirts and dress clothes, and I do that for a reason. About 22, 23 years ago, Spirit came up and said, now you know you're going to have to wear it. People got certain personalities. They said, look, you know, I think I was 24 years old. They said, you're going to have to get up out of them sneakers and all that old stuff that they said, because you're going to look like a mass murderer walking around in sneakers and t-shirts and all the other stuff. So, and I said, man, that's kind of interesting. And then years later, when I gained a little weight, I realized, hey, that was right. I look like some Wayne Williams or somebody walking around here. And although he didn't do anything, but I realized what he was talking about. And so Brother Azazel did these Zarabanda t-shirts, which is the Congo rights coming out of Congo, the Congo, Africa, and later on supplanted in Cuba, South America, and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico being some of the strongest of the what's called Palo Manombe. So he did the Zarabanda shirts, and he said, I got one for you. I'm like, oh, that's a t-shirt. He said, no, it's a 6X, brother. He said, it's a 6X. It's going to do you right. And I said, okay now, this is the first time a t-shirt fit me. But it was right. So the other day I was sitting on the bed, and I was like, wait, I need to wear this. And sure enough, he has on his Queen Majade has on hers. So we pushing these powerful shirts of the Palo, and I think they got some over there that you need to get a hold to. And basically, he taking these particular babies and actually making this. This is the type of stuff we need to be into. Something that's very powerful, something that illuminates. This is the god Zarabanda, which is the god of the, tell the little boy to close the little door right there. Oh yeah. The Zarabanda is the opening of the gateway. This whole sign symbolizes the dimension of a whole nother universe. And we'll be getting into that particular type of science as we go on. So right now what we want to do is we're going to give a big shout out to Brother C. PINEAL. Ashe. Then we're going to do libations right after the question and answer. We're going to do a little different things. So, what's that?
No, since we're on forms, can I do one?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You know, you got to realize, celebration and ritual changes things.
Yeah.
You see? Changes things. Why do you think you still a lot of people stuck up in that church? Because that church got some powerful rituals. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, if Jesus is Horus, I talked about this before, and it doesn't matter what name you call him, if Jesus came from Horus, and the people worshiping Jesus, wouldn't they be worshiping Horus or Heru? It'd be the same thing. See, and you look at the spirit world, you know, they don't get into the political aspect about it. So in so many words, the church is actually right on time. This comes from that's the scarab, which represents the heart chakra. It's called the heart scarab. We'll be talking about that today. But that's one of the ways that, you know.
I saw it last night on.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it was on the Cartoon Network, and Justice League had a shit identical to that. It's supposed to come out of space.
Okay.
That's why I became concerned.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting because I had a dream about this about 20 years ago. Back, as a matter of fact, it was 1998. I had a dream of a spaceship called the Hemmitt Lady Kepra, which is the Kepra is the one with the beetle with the wings. And I had a dream about a spaceship, and this was back in 1988, 20 years ago, called a Hemmitt Lady Kepra. It's very interesting. So what we want to do is this sister is Brother Azazel's queen, Sister Majade. She comes with a whole lot of power, whole universe of her own. And so we're glad to have her in the house. Some of you have seen her on the videos, on the DVDs, and I'm glad to have her in the house. And she's going to come up and do a powerful poem for us. And remember, everything we do is in alignment with ceremony, and it is alignment with rituals, which actually changes not only the course of our surroundings, but it actually changes time itself. Each one of these events are major events in time that was prophesied to happen.
What's your stuff on the floor?
Just kidding.
Yeah, don't want you to treat people hell to treat people up.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, sister.
Yeah. You know, I know that there's so much hate going on in this world today, so I just wrote a little piece for that. It's called Hate. If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it smile and grin, or grit its jagged teeth? If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it flick its tongue and spew its lies with bony claws and demon eyes? If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it be ugly and contorted, its figures distorted? Or would it have a face without a clue? In other words, would that mother look just like you? If hate had a form, who would it be? Let's thank you.
All right.
Yes, I guess the individual has to decide what would that be. What we're going to do right now, because a lot of people, especially people who have heard me before, and the ones who haven't, we got a good little while to you to get to familiarize yourself with my particular information. But what we want to do right now is we want to change the format up a little bit, because change is supreme. As Dr. Richard King tells you, that melanin is chaos, because chaos is nothing but dark matter, the black holes in space. And melanin is nothing but the cosmic substance, not only of everything that's in the universe, but those things that's outside of this particular solar system before this particular solar system was formed. All that is in us, and that is chaos. And they got so many things now, chaos mathematics, chaos theory, and chaos magic, different things that the government has been dealing with about the last 30 years. So dealing with that change, that melanin is chaos, every now and then, no matter how rigid the rules are, every now and then something has to change. And we exemplify that in our creative process. We created the blues, we leave it alone. White folks take it. We created jazz, we leave it alone. White folks take it. You know, we create everything and then we get out of it. And some people say, why don't we stick with our stuff? But that is not what we do. If you're a creative being, you create. And something that has already been created, you see what I'm saying, is on the process of dying. So that's the laws of chaos and the laws of melanin. Change is supreme. Now change, chaos before it was called chaos in the Hebrew aspect, or the Kabbalistic, which makes it, the Kabbalistic aspect, which makes it Egyptian. Because these Hebrews are nothing but extension of the Baltimore Kamites compared to the DC Kamites, just another branch of Negroes. You see what I'm saying? Because we created everything. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular aspect, that's why we can't throw out anything. We can't throw out nothing, not even the Bible. You know, and in Isaiah 45, they say, I will give you the treasures of darkness. And the book of Psalms, we know now you can't throw it out, because the book of Psalms is nothing but the love hymns from Akhenaten to Nefertiti. You see? As a matter of fact, while this is on my mind, they dug up the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1948. That would be 60 years, I think, now. This year. And they basically gave them mostly, when they've been translating them for the last 50, 60 years. And they basically gave them materials that they had already had in the Torah, the Tanakh, the Kabbalistic aspect, and later on into early Christianity, which is Gnosticism and different things. So they really didn't get a lot profound stuff. Now they got a lot more out of the Nag Hammadi library that they dug up in 1945 in Egypt, which is the Gnostic stuff, which is basically what the Old Testament was copied from and made out of. But anyway, but they did have this one thing. They had the copper Dead Sea Scrolls. And they took them years, they split them open, and they were still getting some of the same old text over and over. But they found out that they had Greek letters deposited among the Hebrew letters. And they translated the Greek letters, and it ended up saying Akhenaten, right in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You see. So we know that these things are nothing but borrowed text from earlier things. So we're still just talking about stuff that the family brought down through the ages. But one of the Hebrew words before it was called chaos, it was called ain, or ain. Then the word ain represents, in the Kabbalistic tradition, the number 61, which I was born in 1961, as well as Barack Obama. And chaos means change is supreme. And Barack Obama is saying what? Change. Which means chaos. Which means his name, 61, Ain. Which I was born in 61. We both born the same year. We both left-handed. You see, both left-handed. He's a lefty, I'm a lefty. You see what I'm saying? And we'll go into that. Some other things why the Pope had to come to meet with Barack Obama secretly. There's a reason for that. You see what I'm saying? To bear witness to a bloodline. And we're going to go into that also. You see, this Pope Benedict. You see, so, and why did he come 1 year after Queen Elizabeth came over? Because remember, she was at the Kentucky Derby, which is the date. She came the week before. You see what I'm saying? And so every bearing witness to the new kingdom. We're going to go into all of that too. There's a real change going on. But you got to understand what's going on in the spirit world. So right now what we want to do, we're going to change it up. We want to go into a little question and answer. You get the juice rolling. You see what I'm saying? Because your questions are actually answers. And a lot of time when I come, I speak so long to a lot of people. They get up, they leave before they can get the question off. All the ones that stay, they go, wow, it's been 6 hours. Hey, I forgot what I was going to ask you. So let's go into, anybody got a question right now? Some things are on their mind. Anything other than Barack Obama and the Pope, because we're going to get into a whole science on that. You see what I'm saying? But then again, we'll see what the deal is, because something might have to come up because it needs to. Give me some questions. Mm-hmm.
Yes, brother. How do you raise the vibration of yourself? Through meditation? What do you do?
There's several ways to do it. As a matter of fact, I have a document here that's accompanying